All right, welcome back again. We're going to talk about density. So we have mass, volume, and density. I'm going to try to make this one short. So if you would please take notes on excuse me, how to solve for density and what factors affect density. It's best if you do the Cornell notes. That way you can work the problems on one side, ask questions on the other, and summarize what everything is all together. Okay. So mass we talked about in the last video. It's the amount of stuff in an object. It's measured in grams. We use a balance for that. Volume, we talked about that in the last video. It's how much space something takes up. So if you have a solid cube, you have you measure it and you get centimeters cubed, or you can have milliliters depending on what you're using there. So which one of these do you think will have the greater volume? Let's start with volume first, and then we're going to talk about mass. Which one would have the greater volume? Would it be the feathers or the rock? I want you to write down which one you think it is. I'll tell you in class, okay? Which one has the greater mass, the feathers or the rock? I'll ask this in class again, so please write down your answer. All right, density. I want you to copy this definition down. Density is defined as mass per unit volume. It is a measure of how tightly packed and how heavy the molecules are in an object. Density is the amount of matter within a certain volume. Okay, so if you need to pause the video and write that down. Okay, which one is more dense? Okay, so take a look at these two squares. Which one do you think is, and the dots represent people in a square, which one is more dense? If you said that this one is a higher density, let's go back, then you're correct, okay? Because remember, it's how tightly packed something is and how, right here, this one right here, I don't know, why is it not working? Okay, for some reason I'm having trouble with my pen, but it's this one right here is more dense, okay? Because there's more people in the square than this one, so you have places to breathe. Now, which one is more dense? If you said this little one, then you are correct. It's got the same amount of people in it, but we have less space. To find the density, you find the mass of the object with a balance. You find the volume of the object either by measuring it or water displacement, like what we talked about, and then you divide them. So density equals mass divided by volume. So I'll pause for just a second and see if I can get my pen to work. So I'm back. I got my pen to work. So if you look right here, this tells you your units. It's going to be grams over centimeters cubed or some kind of milliliters. Okay, so it will tell you exactly what to put here. And I think this is supposed to be meters here. So I think there's a typo there. Okay, to find the density, you find the mass of the object, find the volume of the object, divide. Density equals mass, and this should have a division, not minus volume. It should be divided by volume. So if the mass of an object is 35 grams and it takes up 7 centimeters of space, calculate the density. Okay, so when you're working these problems, I want you to circle the numbers and the units. Okay, circle the numbers and the units. Then you're going to label it. Well, if it's grams, we know that's the mass. We know this is the volume. We're looking for, because it says calculate the density, and that's your question, okay? So we're going to take 35 divided by 7, and we get 5. Now remember, this is grams over centimeters cubed. So this is our unit, and it comes over here, grams over centimeters cubed. Never ever leave a number naked. Always have units on it when we ever do math in here, okay? All right, so the next one. This just showed you what I just did, so I'm going to go through that one. All right, let's do some problems together. I want you to put these problems in your notebook and bring them to class and come with any questions you have, okay? Remember, we're going to circle what's given in the problem and the unit. We're going to underline what we're looking for, which is the question, And then we're going to solve, okay? So it says Frank has a paper clip. It has a mass of 9 grams, so circle that with the units, and a volume of 3 centimeters cubed. We're going to label this. This is my mass, and this is my volume. And it says, what is the density? So there's my question. Density equals mass over volume. So we just plug in our numbers. We have 9 grams over 3 centimeters cubed. 9 divided by 3 is going to give us 3. Now we take these units and we plug them in. Grams over centimeters cubed. Okay? And then you always want to box in your answers if you're doing any math in my class. That way I know exactly what answers you have. Also, stay very organized in science with your numbers, okay? Frank also has an eraser. It has a mass of 3 grams. Okay, so we're going to circle 3 grams. And if you want to, go ahead and put an M here because that's a mass, and a volume of 1 centimeter cubed. Oh, sorry, that's not what I meant. Put a volume. What is the density? Mass divided by volume equals density. So I take 3 divided by 1. Don't forget your units. Grams, centimeters cubed gives you 3 grams per centimeter cubed. Okay, sorry, my pen's messing up again. All right, so if you have any questions of what I'm doing, bring them to class. Okay, so bring these to class tomorrow. Let's see if you can work these, okay? So bring these to class. They're very easy, guys. I just want to see your work, okay? And I'll see you in class. Have a good night.